Hey there, ball strikers. How you guys doing today? Just wanted to talk with you guys about some club updates, go through a review of some new things because, as you guys know, for a long time I was playing the Lazarus Irons. Up until about a couple months ago, I was fully satisfied. I still was satisfied. However, I was noticing a little bit more inconsistency as my swing speed got up and found myself looking toward what could I do to make myself more consistent and be able to attack pins more whenever I was in play. The cavity back is a great forgiveness club, but as you get higher up in skill level, in swing speed, there are just gaps in the game that happen with ball striking, and thus I made a switch to the Taylormade P790 iron. This is a great iron. This is a player distance blade iron. Really, really amazing. I've super enjoyed it. I've been playing them for about 2 months now. The overall head size pretty similar to what we were dealing with the Lazarus iron. It is a little bit smaller head, while at the same time not having the cavity back, still having the weight in the front for player distance. But the big thing that I wanted to showcase with you about it is just the big reason why I made this switch was more about the shaft than it was anything else. I honestly considered just keeping the Lazarus irons and then just trying to put a stiffer flex shaft in there just to see what would happen. But rather than doing that whole Shabbat Shalom, I ended up going through a fitting process and several fitting processes actually. I think I did 3 fitting processes. I ended up finding myself with the Project X LS shaft, which is a low spinning shaft. And I want to just kind of showcase to you me hitting some of the approach wedge shots with this right here. And like I said, this is not solely a review of the it's not solely a review of the P790 head, but it's also a review of the whole entire build, which is why I'm putting it up in the upper left-hand corner for you to be able to see. This is what I'm playing. I'm playing a Taylormade P790 Project X LS 6.5 125 gram shaft. I play with the 3 iron through the A wedge, 2 degrees upright, 2 degrees strong, 1 inch long. Now you may ask, why did I go that specific? The 2 degrees upright was what we found out was needed for me by my fitter. We figured that was the best possible scenario for me. But what we really thought about it is, I was playing a 2 iron through pitching wedge in my prior iron series of Lazarus. And granted, I could do and get still the same number of irons with the A wedge setup, because they go all the way down to A wedge, but I already had a 50-degree wedge, and I thought about myself, like, what can I do to cover distance gaps in order to not lose any distance in any kind of iron setup? So what I ended up doing was increasing the length 1 inch and then making every single iron 2 degrees stronger as a way to cover gaps. So whereas I had a 2 iron in the Lazarus series that's a 16 degree, probably closer to 15 and a half, but with my 3 iron I have a 17 degree. So but I also gain an extra inch of length, so there's not quite the gap that you might think there would be. I can testify that whenever things are going correctly, we hit that 3 iron about as close to 250 on flat surfaces, and then about 265 to 280. I did have one that was about close to 300 earlier today, but life is good. That was an idyllic situation of downhill, downwind, so we don't really count those kind of situations other than just smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. Really what I love about them is they have the shot shaping ability that I wanted, while at the same time being strong enough to withstand swing speeds that I put on the ball and be able to take the downward attack angles that I take. If you're going to notice when I swing through the ball, you're going to see that I take divots actually in front of where the ball actually was. It's a very, very fun system, and the iron is just super, super wonderful. By the way, yes, I did have my phone going off whenever I recorded the video and didn't notice, because I'm silly like that. So just deal with it! Anyway. Yeah, I know. It's bad. There we go. So, the truth is that I really understand and knew what I needed to do to improve my game further and be able to go to the next level, or at least gain better consistency. because with the Lazarus irons, I was finding myself able to threaten even par, during a zero wind day. However, the moment we got any wind at all, which is Oklahoma, we get wind all the time. There are maybe 3 days a month we don't get wind. And I was not going to be able to play better golf if I couldn't learn to control wind better. This shaft, the strength of this shaft, allowed me to be able to keep my swing speed, keep my setup, adjust a few small things, but really focus on being able to control wind, which is absolutely amazing. Guys, having a player distance iron, having more importantly, the right shaft flex is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself in your game right now. There are so many things that you can edit and adjust on the day in, day out flow, but if you take the time to really sit down and mess with your irons and mess with the shaft and really understand if you have the correct flex, which don't be afraid to take a harder flex. A hard flex shaft, you might lose some distance, but you're going to gain control. I was so scared for so long to go into a really stiff shaft. This is an extra stiff shaft. And I'm telling you, I am so thankful I made that move. By doing this, I gained so much confidence in my overall ball striking ability and just my ability to shot shape and control. And that's huge when you have confidence. With the Lazarus irons, they could feel a little noodly at times because, again, they're very, very light. These irons are about 2.5 times the total weight of my other iron. When I hold them side by side, they are pretty much, like I said, about double the weight, maybe a little bit more than double the weight. And that is a lot. It takes a while to get used to it, but once you get used to it, there's just so much confidence that you have in your overall swing. And that is just, you cannot buy that kind of peace of mind, that kind of just overall feeling. It's a great place to be. P790, by the way, it's worth it. It's worth it. I don't know what other kind of irons are out there for you or what you're trying to look into, but the overall head, as you move into, if you still have high swing speeds or high spin rates like I do, then please look into these irons. Go and check them out. Check out the Project X LS shaft. Guys, it's good stuff. As always, guys, keep pimping the world and look for low rounds.